Sir Lewis Hamilton has finally won the British Grand Prix for the first time after 3 years. 3 years after that infamous incident at Silverstone, after controversy where he got a penalty and still won. This time, no penalties for Lewis. This time, it was a much cleaner race from Lewis, and this time he was kept his nose clean, kept his tires alive. Once again, I believe this is a masterclass of a British Grand Prix from him. And it all had to be with dead tires, bro. He was on softs that were about to bust. Max Verstappen was catching up on him, bro. But he held on until the end. And that's why I think Lewis Hamilton is the best at the moment. And he truly relished the win. He cherished the win so well. He was crying, bro. But it was amazing. It was amazing to see that. And I'm really, really happy. And now just to move a bit on, because I had to record it a few times because I have a space bar. My keyboard is so soft. Even a single knock would stop the recording. But let me just pay my tribute to Lewis Hamilton real quick. He is the first driver I can remember watching Formula 1 back in 2014, the Malaysian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton's back then, he was in a Mercedes Petronas back in the day. I don't think AMG was the name back then, but it was Petronas. But I know Mercedes because of Petronas. So yeah, that's the first name besides Nico Rosberg. Now Rosberg's been retired for like almost more than 7 years already. I think Lewis is he's key to the sport's popularity today in a way, because he's Sir Lewis Hamilton, bro. He's a famous guy. He's like as much famous now as the Queen, the late Queen. He's probably more famous than King Charles. I can't believe Prince Charles knighted Sir Lewis, and then later on, less than a year later, he became the king. But okay, let me just set that aside real quick. Let me set that aside. Now I just want to focus on the nitty gritty now. I want to talk about Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. What a horrific race for the team. What a horrific race. And I think they're gonna show their bias to Carlos Sainz. And that tells me that Lewis will get preferential treatment in Ferrari. I have a very good gut feeling it's gonna happen. And as a Charles Leclerc fan, it's going to make my heart sink a little bit. I know I love Sir Lewis and I love him to come to Ferrari, and it's happening. But for Charles Leclerc, it's gonna be tough, and he needs to rebuild the trust with Vasseur again. Because what I've been seeing over the past weeks was horrific, man. It's terrible. Ferrari were terrible over the past 3 weeks. Terrible, terrible. They were back in 2022, or was 2020. They were that shit. And then the next team I want to talk about is the past employers of Lewis Hamilton, McLaren. Oh my. There is a reason why I still have a little agenda on McLaren. Even though I have a soft spot for them for getting me back into Formula 1. I still have a little nitpick on them, and that is China 2007. That is like a permanent stain on my brain when it comes to McLaren. It's a permanent stain. You cannot forget this, because it ruined what could have been the greatest rookie season in history, and that was by your man Sir Lewis Hamilton. So that is the agenda on McLaren. They are a butlers. Yes, Lewis was a butler that season too. But what about 2012? They had a fast car. But were they reliable? Were they good? It was a decent car, but was it reliable? No. The team wasn't reliable either. Red Bull still managed to outclass them. Ferrari of all teams were better than them, man. McLaren were just. And then you've got the McLaren Honda partnership that turned into a disaster. McLaren Renault, now McLaren Mercedes. But my goodness, Zach Brown is doing a horrible job at the moment. He is no better than Ron Dennis, and that's the problem with the team. They're stagnating at the moment. And with whatever the hell is going on at Arrow McLaren SP, it's not giving me good vibes on McLaren now. They are done for. I'm done with them, bro. I'm pissed. I'm done. I will watch McLaren, but I'm not going all out to support them anymore. I'm done. I'm seriously done with that team. Because I'm going back to Ferrari as well. So I'll support Ferrari no matter what. They have the loyalty that I don't think McLaren has, because Ferrari gives you a good test of loyalty. McLaren just flip-flops a lot, and it's harder to commit in my opinion, because in Ferrari you have a tifosi, you have a community, you have a tifosi that band with each other, they stay loyal to Ferrari together, you know, like a whole nation. And then McLaren is just, it's just off. But anyway, excuse my yawning, but anyways, I mean, I'm just enough of them for now. It's terrible. I'm tired of the team, bro. I'm tired. I wanna sleep, bro. And then also, I want to also talk a little bit about Andrea Kimi Antonelli, that and Arvin Lindblad. These two are the promising talents of the future. Zane Maloney as well. Got a shout out to him. Zane Maloney was a very good driver. I think Sir Lewis saw a very mega talent in him, you know, the coming talent all the way from Barbados in the Caribbean. I think the Caribbean will see a driver on the grid, and that will be Zane Maloney. I believe Zane is going to be on the Audi grid. And I know he's going to replace one of them Audi drivers, and it's not going to be the Hulk, but he's going to replace one of them. I'll tell you this, Theo Pourchaire has to be careful, man. He's out of McLaren, and I'm pissed. I'm honestly pissed because he's my brother in Christ. So, like, come on, man. But anyway, God gives tribulations for his reasons. So I think it's good for Theo to, you know, plant his roots again. You know, get the roots a little bit closer to the Lord, and then after that, he will continue his racing career. He's a bit like the better version of Stingray Rob, in my opinion. He's like a Stingray Rob with very serious talent, and also a foreigner because he's French in an American series. Well, used to be, but I believe Theo will reach Formula 1 one day. And with Pierre Gasly extending his contract, I believe that Gasly will perform decently in the Alpine Mercedes, but I think Sainz will perform better. But if you really think about it, I actually think Jack Doohan will have a shot at the team with Mick Schumacher in the future. And I think Ocon's moving to Haas to replace Magnussen. And I think what's going to happen next, Magnussen is going to Arrow McLaren SP. Because I think we're going to have a new driver lineup. Nolan Siegel, Christian Lundgaard, Kevin Magnussen. Pato O'Ward has to get out of the team. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Pato in Arrow McLaren SP anymore. He has to go. It's not for his performances or anything. I just want him in Formula 1. Look at Checo Perez. The shittiest Mexican driver right now. He is worse than Hector Rebeck, of all people. I'm done, bro. I'm done with Checo. There's a reason why he's stanking McLaren. And there's a reason why and it's probably karma in a way for betraying Ferrari, but I don't know, man. was supposed to be destined for Ferrari, but he chose the other way, and look at his career now. Had he had the pressure cooker of Ferrari early in his career and learned how to develop himself, then he could have been a totally different driver now. But it is what it is. And I think Pato has a better chance of joining Formula 1 and succeeding than Checo Perez. And now before I close down the video, I just also want to talk about Lando Norris back in McLaren. Terrible call. Very terrible call, Lando. And also the team was terrible. Both sides were terrible. And what the absolute hell were McLaren doing with Piastri, bro? Carlos Sainz is like it's like you're trying to get past. You're trying to do. Okay, how do I say this? You're dreamy bull trying to get past No Nut November without busting a nut. I'm just gonna say that, bro. I'm just gonna say that. It was not easy, bro. It's not even easy. It's like torture, bro. It was like torture. My brother Oscar, bro. My Aussie brother. Come on. Oscar. I would rather see Oscar Piastri in a Ferrari. Very honestly, bro. This guy is Kimi Raikkonen 2.0. But I think he can actually gel with Ferrari. Because he can speak some Italian. And he can speak some Japanese too. But come on. Just bring Oscar to Ferrari, man. I have enough. Bring Pato O'Ward to McLaren, man. I have enough. Either McLaren or Red Bull. Enough. Enough is enough, okay? But then again, because I know Verstappen's gonna leave, I think Verstappen is going to take over George Russell. I'm sorry to say that, but George has potential to be a world champion. He should just bribe BMW to come back into F1. I don't know. I'm just talking bull crap. But actually, speaking of George, he did a very solid pole lap. Very solid driver this week. But it's very unfortunate his car ran out of water. And it got too thirsty. It was about to overheat and had to retire the car. So it was a very unfortunate race for George Russell. But yeah, I just feel like Max will take over, and I think Kimi is gonna take over as well. Because I think we're gonna see, I'm gonna see a new driver lineup unless Max wants to stay with Red Bull. But as a lot of people will say on Twitter, they don't want Max and Red Bull anymore because fuck the Ford engines, man. Terrible. Nobody trusts Ford in this house, man. One last thing. One last thing. Back to Lando. What could have been? Okay, I will share you this before I close out the video, yeah? Lando Norris, he made a mistake. He made a few mistakes. McLaren made a few mistakes. So what happened is, McLaren gave him shit information. Shit. And now the next thing. Lando came into the box. He parked his car a bit too far front. The fuck was going on with the brakes, bro? Come on, man. And that's why he pushed the fucking softs way too hard and worn out way too soon. If he had the mediums, it would have been compensated. But it is what it is. Anyway, I can only speculate. And if Lando was on the soft, if he had made a better stop, he would have been ahead of Lewis and potentially would have won the race. But it could only be what it be. Lewis preserved his tires well, Lando didn't, but if Lando had the mediums, he would have won the race. And Max still second, Lewis would have been third. But very good race from Lewis, and I am looking forward to him in Ferrari. Peace.